Welcome back, folks, to Two Bits One Puck. I'm your host, Mr. Intangibles, and a Champions League winning manager, Dan Masters, with my good friend, the East Kent Elliot Friedman, and a man who has hopefully now started playing Return of the Obra Dinn. Will Every Human. Will, how you doing?
I'm significantly worse now that you're claiming or trying to sweep under the rug the sort of illegitimacy of your Champions League win.
How is it illegitimate?
I'm not illegitimate, but fucking hell, if there's ever going to be an asterisk, this is a Champions League win, people, on Champ Manager, where he drew 1-1 and won on penalties, which is that's not a fucking win to start with, and by the man's own claiming, the other team were missing two of their best players. So, mate, come on.
Well, what am I supposed to do? You can only play the team that's put in front of you, Will.
Well, yeah, exactly, and you should fucking beat that team, not draw fucking 1-1 and win on penalties like some...
I did beat that team. I scored more goals than they did. I put the ball in the back of their net more times than they put the ball in the back of my net. That counts as a win, I believe.
Fucking ridiculous. The older I get, the more I hate penalties. I don't care for the drama of it anymore. It's fucking dumb.
So now I'm the other way. The older I get, the more I think it's a good idea. And it makes sense.
Do you find that opinion skyrocketed after you won the Champions League on Championship Manager?
Yeah, it seemed to increase more on Monday, I must admit.
Sunday night,
no, I do think it's the right thing.
But to decide like the fucking World Cup final and shit like that.
Yeah, because look, here's the thing. After an hour and a half, and then another half an hour, at some point you just got to fucking finish the game, aren't you? You're just getting stupid at that point. It's a game within the game. Then it comes down to like nerves of steel, bottle, and those are all things you've got to have. And if you can do that thing and you can score that penalty from 12 yards away and win, then you deserve to win.
It's luck though, isn't it? It's just
it's not luck though, is it? It's not luck.
It's obviously you can be good or bad at penalties, but still, it comes down to, is the goalie going to guess the right way?
I'm trying to think of an England player who's like embarrassed himself with a penalty.
Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
Psycho Stuart Pearce.
Southgate, that's a bad penalty. That's not unlucky. That's a bad penalty. Meanwhile, if you smash it into like the side netting in between the post and the back of the net, that's a great penalty. No keeper in the world saving that. That's not luck. That's skill and bottle.
Yeah, there is an element of it, but I think the majority of it's down to it's not luck, but like it's a game of chance.
It's like a hole in one in golf. There is luck involved, but you still have to have the ability to get that ball close enough to that hole. There's a percentage of it that is luck. There's a percentage of anything that's luck in all sports, isn't there?
Yes, very true. You're lucky that you're not being struck by lightning halfway through the game or whatever.
There's all luck involved in, all manners of sport, isn't there? Not just penalties in footy.
It's true, but I think I used to think that like penalties in football were a million miles away from like the shootout or whatever. But yeah, I think more and more that they are basically the same thing. What
would I think if they changed the rules in the Stanley Cup? You get to the playoffs and then there's just you play the one period of overtime and then that's it. You go straight to a shootout. Would I hate that?
Well, in the playoffs, oh mate, don't even. And that's the thing, like with the Stanley Cup, like obviously hockey fandom and sort of hockey law isn't dictating to football what it should do, but a lot of the appeal to a lot of people about the playoffs is a continuous overtime. Getting to a double OT and like, oh, what's going to happen? Who's going to have the endurance? Who's going to blink first, sort of thing, or whatever. Yeah, it's not like you get to a triple OT situation and the players are just fucking like the game breaks down because of it. You're not necessarily having it's probably not the best hockey being played, but there is still an excitement and entertainment factor to it.
That is true. I think what I've done there is I've proved and disproved my point all in the same sentence.
It's a challenge. It's skill and luck, that, I think.
See, the issue was, because I don't know if people know this or not, but they used to have golden goal in footy. So it would go to extra time and it was first goal wins. But after half an hour, if there was no goals, it would still go to penalties. That would have changed a lot if it would have just been, that's it, next team to score wins. If we have to play for 2 hours, it's 2 more hours. But there has to be a goal. And I wonder if, because that was the thing, wasn't it, that teams then would still end up trying to play for penalties because they were just too scared to make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
In that half an hour.
Yeah, it's like, at the end of a regular season game, like, 5 minutes left, it's a tie. Oh, let's just play for OT so we both get a point, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll take the loser point.
Yeah, rather that than nothing. I'll tell you my proposal to fix all this for footy. So you get your half an hour extra time, yeah.
Yeah.
Then after it's going to be golden goal. We're going straight to golden goal, but to avoid, having fucking 7-hour footy games, get your first half hour full pitch. Then after that, second half an hour half pitch, and then in sort of 15-minute increments or half an hour increments, you take players off the pitch. So you get down to like 7 aside, 5 aside, shrinking the pitch, shrinking the number of players on. That's how you fucking do it.
And then with 5 minutes left, you all have to drive to the local youth centre and play indoors.
Yeah.
so the ball can bounce off the wall and stuff like that.
With one of those.
Stop playing futsal
instead. With those like football-sized tennis ball things.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they should do in hockey then. It's 3-on-3, but with a half rink. Forget 3-on-3 the floor. It's just half rink. I just got players jamming shots like every 10 seconds.
But hockey has proven that they can carry on 5-on-5 and it'd be interesting until fucking 4 in the morning.
Point,
so that's fine. We're trying to break down the barriers of football.
What if you could rotate players on and off then, like in hockey for footy? Because then you could play forever, couldn't you? Because obviously the thing in footy is you only have so many substitutions, so you can at any point of any game, the most players you could have at any point is 14 because you have your 11 players and then 3 subs. But if they just said, do you know what? All right, Messi, just come off for 15 minutes and then you can come back on in a minute. That might work.
No, I reckon that's part of the sort of strategy, isn't it? So it's like, right, whistle blows, you got to take a geezer off. Both sides are like, right, shit, who are we going to take off? You can't come back. Yeah,
true.
There you go. So then, do you want to end up, when you're down to 1-on-1? do you want your keeper out there, or do you want Messi out there? Who do you want?
That's a good point. And if the pitch is smaller, I'd go with the keeper.
Depends who your keeper is, though, isn't it? Because you still got to score a goal.
If you're down to a quarter pitch and it's 1-on-1, I would take any keeper, because the comparison between Lionel Messi and goalkeeper is not the same between goalkeeper and outfield player. The goalkeeper is a better outfield player than Lionel Messi is a goalkeeper.
That's fair. Or
Ronaldo is a goalkeeper.
You want to bring back what's his name? That South American goalie used to take all the free kicks.
Rene Higuita.
Yeah. You want to bring him back? Don't make him like that anymore, do you?
All right then. Here you go then. Let's move this to hockey then. Let's move this to hockey. You go 1-on-1, right? And it's 1-on-1 half rink. Are you putting on your goalie for your 1-on-1, or are you putting on your skater for your 1-on-1?
I think it's got to be the same logic, doesn't it? Because if you've got a skater out there, either you can have a skater out there and he's got to sit in the crease as a goalie would to protect the net, or you've got a skater out there and he attacks the puck. At which point, fucking Conor McDavid's coming off the new version of the blue line, and whoever it is just knocks it in the empty net from fucking 60 feet away. So you've got to go goalie, really.
But, right, okay. Yeah, but if you leave your goalie on, he's got to wear all his goalie stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If you're picking a goalie, the goalie can't go out there in skater gear. He's got to go on in his goalie gear.
That's why you change the nets as well. So those little pond hockey nets and those little like shoebox nets.
Yeah, for like when you do the skills competition.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do.
I think that's a really interesting question. If that's really interesting. You go half rink and it's 1-on-1. Do you put a goalie on the ice, or do you put your best skater on the ice?
I think the NHL teams would put their goalies on, because
I think they would. But then you think the actual elite of the elite could just dangle the fuck out of the goalie and score. If there's no one else on the ice, the reason they can't do that normally is because there's tons of players on the ice.
Yeah, but
so you can't just do whatever you want, can you?
But Conor McDavid isn't 100% in the shootout, is he?
True.
So
that's true.
Same difference, really, isn't it? Except you can have Mike Smith.
If the goalie is coming out of his goal to try and score, then the skater would easily be able to get the puck off him.
But then I reckon if you've got one team who knocks a goalie out there and another team sends out a skater, all it takes is for the goalie to stop the skater on effectively a shootout attempt, then just knock it half a length of the ice, and that's it. Yeah, it's over.
Okay, all right. Now hang on though.
Go
Because
on.
you know about the sporting yips, don't you? You know when you're meant to be able to do that easy thing and you just for some reason can't do it. Like darts players, we're watching darts sometimes, and my wife will go, "How's he only hit 26? He's a fucking professional darts player. I can get more than 26." Oh yeah, but he's on the stage. It's the crowd. It's the TV. It's it's like the World Championships or whatever. Stanley Cup final. Are you really backing a goalie to flick it in from 60 feet every time? I don't think I am.
Stanley Cup final, and you're rocking a 1-on-1 to decide it.
Think about think how much pressure goalies normally get. Now they've got a score as well. Like I think they'd like combust.
Only in very extreme circumstances, though.
Well, yeah, I'm not suggesting the 1-on-1 idea for the regular season. That can fuck off. This is a special treat for the playoffs, the 1-on-1 system.
Special treat for being good.
Yeah. You get to play 1-on-1 if you're good enough to get to the playoffs.
It only happens in like deciding games of the cup final.
It has to get to a game 7.
or like an elimination game or whatever. If it goes to like
elimination, an elimination game, that'd be better. And then you can do it.
Here you go.
Right, hang on. How long have we been going on this? Christ.
Fucking only 10 minutes. I thought it'd been like 40 minutes.
I did have a question to start the show, but we'll start the show and ask him a question on the other side.
All
so
right.
should we start the show?
I suppose we should, yeah.
So, as the season starts in just over a week's time, and the NBA players have already been in their bubble, and it was reported the other day that the NBA has a tip line for if players or staff members are caught sort of breaking the bubble protocol. And on I think it was the second or third day it was active, there were so many tips, the line was jammed completely, and people couldn't get through. So
no, it fucking wasn't.
I was wondering, just to relate this to the NHL, we all know that the NHL is a massive boys' club, and it's very insular, and it's infamous for sort of protecting itself, even sort of opposition players. Do you think? Let me think of a player. Why do I always think of Matt Dumba? I don't know. I always think of Matt Dumba when I say let's think of a player. Right. So Matt Dumba knows that Elias Pettersson's been out and about, out of the bubble. Is he dobbing him in? Or is he just having a quiet word with him or something?
I don't know, but he's not going to have a quiet word with him. Like, what's Matt Dumba doing? Have a fucking quiet word with Elias Pettersson?
No, just like sending him a little Instagram DM or something like that. Like I know what you've been doing.
Oh, what's a black
do
man?
it again. Do you know what I mean? That kind of
He's
thing.
going to extort him. He's going to be like, I know what you did last night, bruv. I saw you out of the
yeah,
fucking...
maybe.
Saw you out of the fucking... What's at the meatball place? There you go. There's a...
Yeah.
That's a bit of xenophobia for you there. I mean...
Or, in these uncertain times, would hockey community still be the hockey community and keep it all insular?
I reckon... I don't know, because you wouldn't... I don't think you'd get people... This is the community of athletes. I don't like saying that because it makes them sound like good people when they're not. This is a sport where people are hiding shit like punctured lungs and fucking broken shins and shit like that just so they can play a game. I think I wouldn't be surprised.
Sexism, sexual abuse, that kind of thing.
Yeah, let alone all of the actual really bad stuff. I reckon we're going to get cases of like, say it happens on the same team, yeah. So Matt Dumba catches fucking Jared Spurgeon out and about. He's gone off for a froyo on a Tuesday eve. He's gonna fucking keep that to himself. And then even if Jared Spurgeon, if someone catches him fucking coughing, if he catches him with a fucking 38-degree temperature, he'll be like, nah, fuck that. Don't worry about it. Don't tell anyone. Right?
No, on the same team they would. I'm talking about on another team.
So that's the question though, isn't it? I don't know if they'd dob the other one in because this is unprecedented in that kind of respect, isn't it?
Yeah, but what got me thinking about this was how many people must have known. How many people know what Bill Peters was like? Like everybody, and it was just, it was like the Mike Babcock thing. Oh, apparently everyone knew this was happening and no one really gave a shit and no one said anything until someone made a thing of it and then everyone went, well, we can't have this. I've heard these stories before and it's a disgrace. The hockey community, regardless of teams, does protect itself. And I was wondering, in these circumstances, with it being different, and with it almost giving you an edge, if Matt Dunbar does see Elias Pettersson out and about down in Edmonton or whenever the hell they are, is he then going to ring up Gaz and, hey, do you know what I've just seen? I'll send you the pictures.
Better chuck him in the old Quarantino. That's the difference, though, isn't it? Because for the Bill Peters thing and for the Mike Babcock thing, like, it's all, oh well, it's not happening to me, so it doesn't matter. Like, you can't catch being racially abused, and for the majority of NHL players, you know what I mean? Whereas if you catch somebody out and about in the middle of the pandemic, it's like, oh well, shit, that could affect me. Maybe I should do something. Like, that's the naturally selfish response is more geared to you actually doing something about it rather than just ignoring it because that's the most convenient. I don't know is the short answer, Dan, because it's unprecedented, and I can no longer speak to the character of any of these good old hockey boys, and I don't know where this would fit in the sort of spectrum of things they deem acceptable. I suppose.
What would you do?
What would I do? What if I was? I'd dob people in, left, right, and centre.
So would I. Not even for good reasons. I want an edge. I want your best players not playing. Sorry, I've seen him out and about. Get him in that King quarantine tent.
He was suspiciously early for breakfast this morning. I mean, I didn't see him out, but who's to say what he's been
wearing
doing?
the same clothes as yesterday. Interesting.
I haven't seen him for half an hour. Who says what he's been up to?
Yeah, that's true.
But that begets whatever. I should stop trying to use words that I don't know. It raises a good question, Dan, which I don't think we've actually asked each other, which I feel is a bit of an oversight. Dan Masters, as you are today, wife and a 2-year-old child, however old she is.
8, but go on.
I was going to say 6, and I thought let's just go deliberately wrong.
Okay.
Would you have gone back? Say you have this familial situation sort of thing, but you play for the fucking Oilers, whatever. Would you have gone back? Because I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, you know what? God, trust, I haven't thought about it either. Well, it's weird, right? Because I've still been going to, because obviously I work in healthcare. I've been going to work exactly the same anyway. So I guess, yeah, I would, because I that's what I've done. I've taken as best precautions as I can. Like, so I work in a hospital, and all around the hospital now you have to wear masks all the time. It was a case of before, if you're going from place to place, it's not, you don't have to do it. As long as you're with 2 meters, it's okay. But now, walking down any corridors, anything like that, as long as, even if there's nobody there, you still have to have your mask on. And like I said to you last week, I think I would have, if I was a hockey player, I would have wanted to have seen first, have you got any evidence that a bubble type situation would work? And as I mentioned, they did the TBT, again, I don't know what it means, basketball tournament, and the bubble worked. And at the end, there were no tests, no nothing, because everyone who came in was clean and everyone abided by the rules. So, being honest about it, yeah, I probably would have done. And my family doesn't have sort of respiratory issues or anything like that would affect them. I mean, guys like, I can't remember, I think it was it Travis Hamonic who said, my daughter's got a respiratory thing. I can't risk it. So that makes sense. But if my family was safe and I was just going to the bubble for 2 months or whatever, then yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? Like, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because you'd like any of these questions, you'd arguably have a completely different mindset to it, being a millionaire athlete compared to working in a hospital and, all due respect, not being a millionaire. So yeah. It's hard to really put you in those shoes because they are completely different shoes to the ones that we actually wear.
How about you?
I think I'm probably with you. Yeah, really. Like, I think it depends on how my wife feels about it, sort of thing, because there is that element of not abandonment, but you would really have to get consent from your spouse, especially if there's a child in the mix, because it's saying like, right, I'm gonna bugger off for 2, 3, 4 months. This isn't your average road trip. Like, I will not be here. So I think it's partly about what they're comfortable with, and like if there's an element of fear on their side, sort of thing, not to. as much as we traditionally say, like, oh, don't let your spouse dictate your life or anything like that, but that's part of the sort of agreement of marriage, isn't it? You're living a life together, isn't it? So I think...
Oh, like I've said before, I bet those women can't wait for those men to fuck off. Oh my God, they must be sick of the sight of them. They've been fucking under their feet for 4 months. I bet those wives and girlfriends are just saying, yes, please, go to the bubble, leave me alone, I need my own space again.
And that's another part of it where you're comparing apples to oranges, because our relationships with our spouses are probably completely different to how they would be if we were professional hockey players.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like...
That's why I made the joke before about when players retire and then come back for a season. They probably come back for a season because their wives and girlfriends are sick to death of them fucking moping around the house. Like, if you want to go back and play hockey, just fuck off and play hockey. Don't just sit around the house all day whinging and moaning because you're not playing hockey. Just leave me alone.
Just watching NHL TV saying, I'd have done better than that. Look at these fucking kids.
Just watching your own highlights on a loop on YouTube. Hey, baby, come watch this. Watch this. Oh, watch where I do this shot. Yes, thank you. I've seen it 4 times today. God.
I like that idea, though, just like sitting around, smoking a cigar, drinking a whiskey, just saying, God damn, I was the fucking nuts, wasn't I?
Don't you do that listening back to this show? You say to your missus, oh, Grace, listen to this joke. I absolutely crushed this joke. Get ready. Oh, that was amazing, wasn't it?
See, I would if I was on the path to being a Hall of Fame broadcaster, but unfortunately...
I mean, we're not.
Well, I mean, not. It's not set in stone yet, do you know what I mean? It's not like...
True.
It's not like Joe Thornton now can be like, all right, I'm getting into the whole, like, I fucking do what I want. Like, we're still really, not quite rookies, but we're still pretty early on in the grand scheme of things.
It's true, yeah. We're in the last year of our ELCs, aren't we?
Just got to hope that we're going to get re-upped, so we don't have to go and... I don't know, what's the podcasting equivalent of KHL?
God, local radio. Gotta be.
Fucking hell.
We're off to go to work for fucking Heart Radio or whatever the hell it's called.
That'd be alright though, you get paid to be on radio.
Exactly, so you get paid to play in the KHL. Now, does Heart Radio have as many races as the KHL? Who's to say?
I can't say I've listened to enough Heart Radio, like, with intent to comment on any of the sort of beliefs of their presenters.
Mate, I haven't listened to radio in an absolute dog's age. Not intentionally. Not for maybe 10 years, 11 years.
So for all you know, they are all just racists, like openly racist. Like, welcome to BBC Radio
openly.
1. I'm just going to drop the N-word. I'm Greg James.
That's why the Union Jack flies outside Heart Radio's headquarters, because they just love massive racism on that radio. That's a joke, obviously, for Heart Radio's people get in touch.
You're listening to Heart Radio. The time is 8:02 a.m. and I'd like to remind you that Britain is for the British.
Coming up after this break, news, travel, and then a speech from Oswald Mosley. Okay, here we go.
I'd like to introduce our new programme coordinator, Steve Bannon. Oh, it's not even funny. It's just sad.
Something I was going to talk to you about last week that we never got around to. Tortorella, in one of his press conferences, was asked about the CBA and about the Olympics. And he said that he believes the Olympics should be amateur players. And I wondered what your take was on that.
Well, the issue with that is, like, yeah, the idea is the Olympics for most of the other traditional Olympic sports is still all amateurs. But they're not fucking amateurs, are they? Like, we're not talking amateurs like, your plumber Dave who enjoys a good cycle ride on the weekend and he knocks over to the preliminary qualifiers and gets in to represent Great Britain, sort of thing. Like, Bradley Wiggins wasn't fucking working down his local chippy before he won his 45 gold medals, was he?
That's very true.
So it's a bit of a farce, really, to call them amateurs. I don't think...
Some sports are, though, aren't they? Like, some sports you do hear, like, I've had to get sponsored by my local chippy, or I had to ring this building company if they'd give me 50 quid for a new pair of trainers or something like that. Yeah, the more popular sports, yeah, they're not amateurs in any way.
Yeah, those are all the fucking waste man sports, really, aren't they? Like, they're fucking... Case in point, we can't name any of them. It's all a myth.
How dare How dare you insult the 15-metre pistol shooting contest?
I always forget that fucking gun sports at the fucking Olympics. Like,
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
it's crazy. I want to know when they're going to get esports in the Olympics.
I mean, they should. I think they should. It's getting to the point where you can't ignore it anymore. Like, I mean, but then they're professional now as well, aren't they? I mean, what did there's the guy who won the last Call of Duty tournament got something like $3 million. Like what?
Don't worry about that.
You're kidding?
Jesus. Is that 14-year-old he won $1 million for winning a Fortnite tournament, wasn't it? So is he? But then if you win any prize money, does that mean you're not an amateur?
I would say so.
Then say
unless it's a different understanding of the wording that I know. To me, a professional is someone who gets paid to do that thing.
Yeah, but if you win prize money in a tournament, that doesn't necessarily mean you're being paid for it. It's not like a salary sort of thing, is it? That's just, it's like, you could go to your local fucking pub's darts tournament and win 50 quid. Oh, well, you're not an amateur anymore. You're I'm a professional darts player.
I'm a pro darts player. I won the Dog and Duck Invitational.
2019. I got 50 quid and 4 pints behind the bar.
I put the 50 quid on my tab, so I'm set for the next couple of weekends.
Fucking absolute hard. I splashed it all that night celebrating. Shame. But yeah, I think it's got to be down to like sponsorships and stuff more than.
And that's the thing, like how amateur you're talking about in regards to hockey, because if you're playing at a college level, or if you're playing at a junior level, I get it. You're not getting a salary, but that's kind of all you've lived and breathed since you were probably 5 years old.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If you're saying that hockey should be amateur, then it is beer league players.
But then that's where the problem is. You would that same scrutiny isn't extended to the other sports in there. Again, like
yeah, true.
Like your cycling, like Anthony Joshua was an Olympian, wasn't he? But he wasn't just Tony down the gym. It's like, oh, you're double hard, Tony. How about you give this Olympics thing a go?
You're double hard, Tony.
It's like he's the hardest kid in school. It's like, go on, let's see what he's about. But yeah, I think that's how it would look. It'd be junior and college players, wouldn't it? But basically players who aren't in a professional league. Because you're still deemed amateur if you play at college or play in junior, even if you're getting perks and, in a lot of cases in junior, under the table sort of brown envelope type thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah,
I like the idea. I like the idea of the hardest kid in school being chosen for the boxing, representing Great Britain in the boxing. 14-year-old Jimmy McGuinness. He got into a fight after school last week and knocked out one of the Quilt brothers. So here he goes.
His record in school fights is 4-1, but to be fair, that one loss was against a year 11 while he was in year 9. So
no, he's 4-1-1 because the other one is on a teacher had to break it up before it finished.
no contest.
He couldn't go to that fight because he was in detention.
He did bang that teacher out, but it wasn't an official fight on record, so it does not count. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it'd be interesting to adopt the whole footy thing. Like, what is it, under 23, and you get some ringers allowed in. What, like 3, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that idea. I think Olympics it's under 23, but you can have 3 players who are over 23. I think that'd be a really good idea. I'd love to see that. The
problem I get with that is I always get really sad when I remember Ryan Giggs running around for Team Great Britain. It's like, it's just a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
I mean, was it?
I don't know, just fucking, well, he was 40 at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was still fucking awesome then.
He was still good, but it's just like, mate, come on. You're too grey and you're too long in the tooth for this.
The Olympics doesn't. The Olympic football experience isn't the same, is it? They don't care. Because they've got, obviously, the league, the Champions League, the FA Cup. They care about that, and the World Cup, and the European Championships. They care about that way more than the Olympics. Way more.
Yeah, like,
after the Stanley Cup, hockey players really do care about the Olympics.
Yeah, more than, like, the IIHF. Because that's their equivalent of the World Cup, isn't it? Because have you ever watched an Olympic football game?
I have indeed.
All right, fair enough. Do you regularly watch the Olympic footy?
Well, probably... I mean, not that regularly. I only catch it once every 4 years or so, to be honest.
I knew it. I knew that was coming. Right.
You fucking do. Just set me up. You set me up then to say that.
Okay. Oh, but by comparison, do you watch as much of the Olympic footy as you do the World Cup?
No, definitely not.
There you go. As much of the Olympic footy as you do the Euros?
No, definitely not.
Do you watch as much Olympic footy as you do pre-season tournaments in America?
Yes, I watch way more Olympic footy than pre-season tournaments in America.
That's fair enough. But do you know what I mean? Like most football fans probably aren't watching the Olympic footy, are they?
Yeah, true.
I don't think so.
I thought it was an interesting point. And then, how would you define how would you define an amateur in hockey? I mean, like you said, yeah. I mean, how amateur are we talking? Because to me, if you're playing at college or, to me that's not amateur because you're still. That's your life.
You're dedicated to hockey, yeah, absolutely. You might not be getting paid, do you know what I mean? But that's not.
I just thought it was like a kind of a bit of a weird grey area.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe just because, obviously in North America and the bigger European nations for hockey, it's a different situation. But like, I'll watch Olympic hockey if it's on, but. Partly because of the timing and stuff, but I'll find myself watching more of the other events than I do hockey normally. Like international hockey just doesn't really interest me that much.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm kind of surprised, but can you tell I'm surprised by that?
Really, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I thought you'd be all over it. I really enjoy it. I think
maybe it stems from the fact that we don't have Team GB aren't in that upper echelon. Team GB aren't necessarily going to be in the Olympics and stuff like that. So there isn't and I definitely don't have the same sort of affinity for and emotional link to Team GB hockey as I would like the England football team sort of thing. So I wonder if it's like not having a horse in that race makes the race itself not particularly interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that.
I don't know, and I think part of it kind of stems from like the games are good, no doubt. Sochi final was very good and stuff like that, but I don't know if there's an element of constant disappointment because you've got all these incredible players out there and it's still just another hockey game sort of thing.
We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and playing over loudspeakers in JD Sports. And if you could leave a 5-star review on iTunes or a review where you listen, that would be lovely. And as always, we're brought to you and sponsored by Wave Intel. As we are getting ever closer to the season returning, let Wave Intel show you the way by providing you with more data than you could shake a stick at. And it's going to be even more helpful when play resumes next weekend. Wave Intel online and on Twitter, being smart so you don't have to. Let's go with this. You sent me a thing today. You sent me a message yesterday, actually, from @HockeyGraphs, where they put out a tweet with an accompanying article and a ton of information asking about bias at drafts against black players. And before we move on, obviously the answer is yes, as we all know immediately. But thankfully, the article went super in-depth. And Will very graciously offered to break it down for us all. So the floor is yours, Will.
I mean, I'll preface this by saying there is so much in this article that I will not do a good job of sort of explaining the point of it and stuff like that. And you should absolutely check it out. So it's hockey-graphs.com with a roster and an alumni of writers and statisticians that you all know and all love. You've got, Alison Lucan used to write for him, Mike used to write for him. You've got like Sean Tierney, Mike Pfeffer, Matt Kane, I think, Manny Perry, Dom Lecision, Megan Clark. Like there's loads, Namita. Like there's loads of people. Like if you look through their blooming bylines, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of literally every single person on here. So it's definitely worth checking out. But this article titled Racial Bias in Drafting and Development, the NHL's Black Quarterback Problem, was written by a guy who I believe his real name is Chris, goes by Yolo Pinato on Twitter. If you don't follow him, he's fantastic. Basically, the point of the article is looking at why there aren't any black centres in the NHL. Can you name any black centres, Dan?
I'm struggling.
Yep, and the way I was thinking about it, like I can't name a top 6 centre who is black. I think of Pierre Edouard Bellemare, black centre I can think of off the top of my head. which is just ridiculous. And it basically breaks down, the article itself is looking into is comparing it to the issue in the NFL of not having black quarterbacks, how 70% of the NFL's player base is black, and yet only 25% of their quarterbacks are black. And it's the inherent racism behind that drives coaches and teams to make those decisions to fill those positions with, on paper, inferior players based upon their race. Not that the race is strictly governing those decisions. The GMs aren't saying, oh, let's not get Cam Newton, let's not get Colin Kaepernick because X white player is white. I don't care if he's worse, he's white, I want him, sort of thing. But it's the situations that lead you up to that, and it's saying that it's comparing it to that situation and framing it in the light of the NHL and the lack of black centres. Yolo Pinato basically breaks it down into he explains the sort of, we all understand that there is a dearth of black players in the NHL, but he really goes into it further and examines the sort of population levels and really singles out just how much of a disparity there is. It's not just, there are less black people in Canada, so there are less black hockey players. I know it is, comparative to the population, a sincere gap between how many players are in the NHL and how many of them are actually black and how many should be black, and then taking it one level further and looking at the position. And to pick out a big headline point, it comes down to the perception of black hockey players when it comes down to the assessment of their hockey IQ. Centre is seen as a position that requires a high hockey IQ. You've got to be able to read the ice, you've got to have vision to find your teammates, you've got to be able to play at both ends of the ice, X, Y, and Z. And even without looking at sort of individual scouting reports of players drafted over the years and stuff, we only have to go back to a couple of seasons ago when Anthony Duclair was at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Anthony Duclair had a breakout season, arguably with the Ottawa Senators this year, when his coach, John Tortorella, said, I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was basically, the kid doesn't get it. I try and I try and I try, but the kid does not understand hockey. Have you ever heard a player say that about a white player? A coach, rather? You haven't, have you?
No.
And that's a real in-your-face example of the preconceived notions and the preconceptions about black players versus white players, and that comes down to a lot of sports. It's, you think of a black athlete and you think, more athletic, bigger, stronger, faster, can jump higher, whatever it might be. You're never chucking the word cerebral in there. You're not. It's not a traditional way of describing a black athlete in almost any sport, really. Whereas you get cerebral said for a lot of white players and a lot of white hockey centres specifically. So I urge you to check out the article because it's really interesting, and Chris does a really good job of breaking it down in. And I don't want to go any further because I will miss bits and I will not do justice to just how much information is in this goddamn War and Peace of an analysis of the lack of black centres and the way that black players are developed in the NHL. But the one last bit I will touch on is something that we actually spoke about a few weeks ago when we were talking about Quentin Byfield, Dan.
Yeah.
And we were saying about how he's going to be the fucking nuts. Kid's fucking enormous. He's producing an elite level for his age in the OHL. Kid's going to be a fucking legend. And yet now he suddenly appears to be slipping down the draft rankings for who knows what reason. But Chris pulls out, I'm just trying to find the quote here. He pulls out a question and answer from a Corey Pronman Q&A for The Athletic. And the question goes as follows. I'll read this verbatim. I've seen way more nitpicking of Byfield than any other high-end prospect in quite some time. I quite honestly don't understand it. The only thing I can guess is that he's been discussed as an elite prospect since his York Simcoe days. That's when he's like 14. So people have nothing better to do. His toolkit has no red flags and the production at his age is historically elite. Got any other ideas why he has been picked apart so much? And then Promlin's response is absolutely fantastic. Corey Promlin does great work for prospects over at The Athletic. Go and check him out if you haven't heard of him. If you haven't heard of him, I find it strange that you're listening to us. He says, there's the ones you mentioned. his bad World Juniors and his mediocre Hlinka Gretzky under-18 tournament. And then the real meat and potatoes is, I hear folks question his hockey sense. I get he is not elite, but I think it's really good. And honestly, in the game of hockey, with the demographics of the sport and its fans and employees, whenever you see a player of colour questioned on his intelligence or work ethic, a red flag goes up for me. And I think Proman hits it perfectly there. It's the racial preconceptions that we have in society about black people and work ethic and reliability and intelligence that's bleeding into the game. But there is so much more than that in that article, and please, it's hockey-graphs. It's the most recent article by Yolo Pinato. Check it out and read it and educate yourselves. Not that we're going to be able to do anything about it, but it's good to know.
I did read through it, and I think it could be summed up about black sportsmen and women in this one sentence that I read, which was from an NFL quarterback, a former black NFL quarterback, who I won't mention because he was a dog-murdering cunt. You can all assume, I assume you all know who I mean. But he said that black quarterbacks are not called good quarterbacks, they're called good athletes. And it's that.
Yes.
Quentin Byfield's not going to be called a good hockey player. He's going to be called a really good athlete. And it should be the other way around. Because that describing somebody as a really good athlete means that, like you say, they're strong, they're fast, they're tall, but it's saying, well, they actually can't play the sport. They're just getting by more on, biology than anything else.
Just being bigger, just being stronger, yeah.
Yeah, bigger, stronger, faster, can jump higher, all that stuff. Which then does show a bias when it comes to drafting players.
And that sort of assessment of a prospect especially isn't exclusive to black players. There are plenty of white prospects who are questioned about, is it going to be able to translate to the next level? Is he just bullying people because of his size? Players like Jamie Alexiak, the big 6'7" freak on skates kind of players. Curtis Douglas, another Dallas Stars draft pick who's 6'9". But you don't get that combined with the questioning of their hockey sense, their maturity, their work ethic, are they good in the room? Are they going to be a problem in the room sort of thing? Which is, as we've said with any discussion on race within the sport of hockey recently, it's not surprising, but it's still depressing to actually read the finer details of it.
Yeah, and I think I know Will said it, but I really do want to hammer this point home. You must see this article. I don't think the reporting to Chernobyl was this big. It's insane how much work has gone into this piece of reporting. Honestly, it's absolutely massive, and there's data charts, there's graphs, there's all kinds of things in there, just to show that every single angle has been covered. It is a fantastic piece of work. And
the work that Chris does outside of this is fantastic as well. He's a thoroughly interesting guy. I know he guested on Jashvina Shah's podcast Stick to Sports recently. Had a really interesting conversation with her there. I think that was in the wake of the Akeem Alou stuff coming out. He's done writing for other outlets elsewhere as well. I know he does a lot of I never remember the names off the top of my head, but the hockey conferences that they have, like the stats conferences, he does a lot of that. He, at the very least, follow him on fucking Twitter because he's a very interesting guy and he's very funny to boot. So, big up Chris. Cheers for doing some cool shit.
As we know, the NHL has said that players do not have to wear suits during this coronavirus round of the Stanley Cup. So, God bless the Minnesota Wild for leaning into being the most dull team in all of sports. But they've explained their dress code will be that they've come up with 3 different team-issued Wild logoed collared shirts that they can wear with pants.
Wait, English pants.
Yeah, English pants.
Just as boxers.
Trousers, shall we say.
So,
a kind of trouser pant, shall we say. It's not an underpant.
When you're saying collared shirt, is that a polo shirt?
I'm assuming it means a polo shirt, yes.
It's not like a fucking button down, a white button down with an embroidered Wild logo on it.
Dude, if it's a fucking button down Oh my! To be fair, it should be a button down. It should be a button down because then the way the Minnesota Wild are enjoying not wearing suits is by essentially just taking off the jacket.
Turning your tie into a fucking logo. Like, I want them to be buttoned down.
You can take your jacket off. You can take your tie off, but that's it.
With like and you get the like the baseball script, the old school baseball script. Have that embroidered like on the back of like fucking Garth Brooks, like a rhinestone cowboy. I was just gonna say they're gonna rock up to fucking rinks looking like they're attending some team charity golf day.
That's true, actually. Let's see if any of them can bust out of their polo shirts the way Bergevin does.
I'm surprised. If it was the Canadians, I'd understand.
Yeah, if it's Canadians, I get it. They all have to wear a red shirt and like a red polo shirt. That's it, which is Bergevin's off-day look. but no,
I'd sooner just wear a fucking suit.
It's what?
I'd sooner wear a suit. If Bill Guerin was like, "Here you go, have a fucking forest green with red button polo shirt, and you can wear whatever trousers you want." Like, no, mate, I'll chuck on a fucking suit.
So I was going to say then, what would you forget? You're not playing for the Wild in this scenario. You play for anybody, and NHL have said you don't have to wear a suit. What would you wear? Would you just go as casually as possible, or are you going to try and get some like crazy fit in?
Oh, but I don't know. Like again, this comes back to what we were saying earlier about how I don't know how my fashion would be if I had unlimited money. We're still people who fashion is at least partly dictated by our income and our available finances, sort of thing. But like, yeah, I think I'd change it up. Maybe one day just rock up in a cheeky little trackie or whatever, Kieran Tierney style, with a fucking trackie in a Tesco carrier bag. Try
Tesco carrier
I've
bag.
always thought about this because I am actually still just 8 years old and a fucking loser. But if I had made the NHL, I'd want to be as offensively British as I possibly could at all possibilities.
So you're going to go string vest and knotted hanky on the head then?
I would get a big British bulldog tattoo on my belly and just have it out all the time.
Have to wear a crop top to the game.
I'd just wear like an Arsenal shirt or whatever. Like I'm trying to think of what English fashion is, but like, yeah, where I'd say.
Well, I think American people assume that English fashion is 3-piece suits and a bowler hat, isn't it? With the umbrella and a briefcase.
You could turn up dressed like a chimney sweep. That'd be good.
Oh no, you turn up dressed like like Prince Charles will be in his coronation, like full regalia, crown and everything.
With the fucking crown.
Hang on, here we go. We've got ideas now.
Here we go.
You can go one day as Freddie Mercury from the Live Aid concert. Fucking iconic.
Yes, I'm liking this. You can't turn up as Liam Gallagher one day.
Yeah. Turn up, dressed as Liam Gallagher one day. If you're like doing that swagger with your hands behind your back, pushing your chin out.
Yeah, exactly. For all your fucking scrum interviews, the outfit and the way he sings, just like hands behind the back, leaning forward.
He's on getting interviewed at the end of the first period in Hockey Night in Canada.
Where you pull out your sunglasses, take your helmet off, push your hair forward.
So Daniel, good first period there, up to 0 after the first. Yeah, man, nice one, top, nice one, fantastic, nice one.
You managed to score the game's only goal in the first period. Yeah, well, it was a great assist from our kid, wasn't it?
Great move from our kid. Puck's in deep, innit? Nice one.
Now fuck off.
Of course, you have to go one day dressed as a. You have to bring a greyhound with you. Typical northern man, greyhound, flat cap, all weather jacket.
What? I'm not a northern man, am I?
Eating a meat pie. But I would.
Eating a meat pie. So now you're. I was going to say in ring attire. Your garb to the rink is going to involve fucking props.
Of course it, dude. If the NHL is saying you don't have to wear a suit, mate, I'm going fucking ham. I'm going all out. I'm getting as many British looks in as I can.
You could be. Well, you'd have to rock a Lonsdale trackie for one day at least.
You'd have to go one day as Johnny Lydon from the Sex Pistols.
I was thinking old Johnny Rotten.
Johnny Rotten, go full punk.
Who? Man, you could have gone as Could go as old Jimmy Savile, but you can't do that anymore, can you?
I fucking knew. I knew you were going to say, yeah, but you can't take those.
I can't do that anymore. God, PC gone mad. That. Who else is iconic? Oh, you'd have to if you were like proper, if you had proper money, not just like some fucking mug on a 650 bottom of the barrel contract. You'd have to get one of the Liverpool suits from the 80s or the 90s or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, the cream ones.
The fucking cream suits.
Cream ones.
That'd
be like a.
That's a deep cut.
That'd be a footy Easter egg in hockey. That footy fans would be saying, "Oh, I get that reference. That's good." But only like 4 people would get it.
Yeah,
like one of our jokes.
No, nobody else would be like, "Why is he just wearing a really shit cream suit?"
Yeah,
you'd have to
wear a suit. It's fine. You can wear whatever you want. Yeah, no, it's a joke.
So,
I don't get
it. I do not get it. You turn up playing the World in Motion, like your fucking entrance music.
You'd have to get 3 of the players. You can go dressed as the Beatles. That'd work.
I could work. Or you could just
do the Beatles 3 or 4 times, couldn't you?
Just
do stages.
Do one of each different beat. Or you've got fucking 16 days worth of shit there, haven't you?
Yeah. God, yeah.
Fucking easy peasy. I worry you'd probably have to like make a schedule though for the ones that are going to involve facial hair.
So you can get to makeup first, the makeup truck.
Turn it up 6 hours early at the rink to get your fucking makeup on.
All the prosthetics and shit. Oh god. I've actually lost money this playoffs because I've hired a movie team that did all the makeup for Mad Max to come and work on me before the game.
I hope we get knocked out tonight because I just can't afford to do another round.
I know. I've hired 2,000 extras. We're going as the cast of Lord of the Rings tomorrow. I'm screwed if we get through.
I've had to borrow money off of Jack Johnson's mum and dad.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
So yeah, there you go. That's what I'd wear on game day.
Yeah, any of those.
All of those things. Right. 2 more things. We'll save the best thing till last. This was an interesting article. I don't know if you saw this, but Jonathan Toews had some choice comments about coronavirus, and I'm gonna read them verbatim. Especially this first one is quite fantastic. I don't know if you've seen these or not, Will, but he's quoted as saying about coronavirus: "Does anybody really know how and when you catch this thing? I think the best thing you can do is get good rest, eat healthy, take care of your body, and just do the little things. What else can you do? Sitting around worrying about it is just going to drive you crazy. I think the NHL has gone to great lengths to create a safe environment. It's far from perfect. Everyone has their own beliefs. Seeing where they stand with all this, it's up to you really to do the right thing, to be respectful of others, but also take care of yourself." I mean, Will, let's be honest, he is right. How do we catch this thing? I mean, how can you be safe? Who knows? It's all a mystery.
That's why I think you should just lock yourself in a small, dark room and never leave. It's the only way you can really be safe, isn't it?
I think so.
See, they sound like weird comments for a man who voted against return to play. Because that
and it's weird because he's normally like he is captain quiet and captain serious and doesn't really talk unless he has to, and it's very weird. Maybe he's got it. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's like he was on his deathbed or something. We need an interview, John. And he's just rambling some stuff.
That's why he's saying he knows he's got it. He's like, oh, who knows how you catch it? Who's to say? You just got to look after yourself there, haven't you, boy? As long as you're being careful, it's not my fault if you get it. You've got to take responsibility for whether you get it. Yes, I
think the best thing you can do is get good rest, eat healthy, take care of your body.
But he's a fucking...
No, you see...
He's a hippie, isn't he? Anyway,
what you're describing there, Jonathan, is just like a healthy lifestyle, not how to beat a globally pandemic disease.
I mean, at least he didn't say what you got to do is get pucks in deep, short shifts.
At least he didn't say the best thing to do is kiss and lick as many people as possible.
He's not.
Could be worse, I suppose.
Not the Rudy Gobert tactic.
No, he hasn't gone. Yeah, he hasn't gone full Gobert, has he? That's something.
No, that's lucky. That is lucky. But you're right. His answer is a pure like fucking hippie, fucking amber necklace, fucking Oh, what's that shit called? Where it's like a homeopathy. Like, it's fucking homeopathy answer, isn't it? It's like, just dilute 1/16 of a milligram of lavender into this water, shake it up, and then rub it on your nipples, and you'll be fucking well away, bruv.
It was like that guy with McDavid, wasn't it? You just need more. What was it? Was it apple cider vinegar or something like that? Because you keep catching the flu.
I'd completely fucking forgotten about that. That's the thing. If they'd have asked Connor, it would have been, mate, don't worry about it. I've been drinking gallon upon gallon of apple cider vinegar, preparing for this bubble. I'm going to go out, mate. I'm going to go out. I'm just going to start. I don't care. I've got my apple cider vinegar.
I'm so healthy. I'm actually curing people as I walk past them. People are actually catching health off me. That's how it works.
He's really taken to that McJesus nickname, isn't he?
Jonathan, you unfortunately have caught the bubonic plague. What are you going to do? Hey man, it's cool. Just going to eat some avocados and catch some rays, you know? Everything will sort itself out. It'll be fine.
Me and Johnny, me and Taser are going to have a Barocca and get to bed.
Yeah. All right, last thing.
Wait,
thankfully,
is this the big thing? This is the big one? Because we wanted to squeeze that other thing in first, didn't we?
Oh yes.
And I really want to talk about this.
You reminded me. Oh. Please go on. You please carry on.
Okay, so for anyone who isn't aware, maybe our neighbours across the pond, there's this game that we play here called football. Right. There's a club called Birmingham City. They're in the Championship, aren't they?
Yes, they're in the league below the Premier League.
They're in the AHL for an equivalent.
Essentially, yeah.
Effectively. And for those who don't know, we don't traditionally retire jersey numbers or squad numbers, as we call them, in football.
No, what happens is normally the honour is that if that's a really popular number or a very important number, it then gets handed to the next very important player.
Yeah, people want to wear
the
your
Man United number. The Man United number 7 has always been a fantastic player, and it's an honour to get that shirt.
The point being, you only get your number retired if you fucking die. If you die while you're playing football, you get your number retired, and that's it.
You have to literally die on the pitch to get your number retired.
Calling out for Mark Vivian Foe, Jesus Christ. So
yeah.
In a very controversial moment, which is I believe maybe reversed at some point, and in a bit of a April Fools in the middle of July, Birmingham City have retired the number 22 shirt of Jude Bellingham, who has just been transferred to Borussia Dortmund. So not only is that controversial because you don't, that's not a to-do thing. You don't retire a player's number. That's not, no matter how good he was. Jude Bellingham is 17 years old. Jude Bellingham has played 40 games of professional football in his fucking career and scored 4 goals. And they're retiring his fucking. This is like the guy who gets called up from the AHL for half a season, does all right, and then I'll retire his number. See you later.
Do you know what? I can make it. I can give you a better example.
Oh, go on. Who?
A player gets called up from the AHL. He's very good. He does really, really well in one season in the NHL. Then he gets traded to another NHL team for an absolute bounty. Then he gets his number retired. Because we are kind of remiss in saying that Jude Bellingham, who is 17 years old, is now the most expensive 17-year-old in history.
How much do they sell him for?
As he's gone to Dortmund for 27 million.
See, my brain's been skewed now. Like, that doesn't feel like a lot, but yeah, the kid's 17. Like,
it is though for a guy who's played one full season in the Championship, which is essentially the AHL.
He's got to be the most expensive Championship player ever, then, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Mate.
So it would be the same as, I can't think of anyone, but AHL player has one good season in the NHL and then gets traded for like 3 first-round picks, 3 awesome prospects, and 2 really good NHL players. And then he gets his number retired by that team.
Here you go.
That's how insanely weird it is.
So William Nylander, after his first half a season in Toronto, even before Matthews got drafted or whatever, then gets traded to fucking whoever and gets his number retired. But was this...
It's very peculiar.
Was this Bellingham that good? Like, I'd never heard of him until today.
Oh, yeah. every single team was after him. Literally every team.
But he's English and he's 17.
I mean, every team,
everyone...
every team of note who could sign him has been trying to sign him and has been trying to sign him since he even, like Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Liverpool stole him from QPR.
Yeah, I know he was at QPR. What do you mean stole though? Was it like a release clause?
The idea was that he was going to stay at QPR, learn his trade, blah 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 blah. And Liverpool kind of came in and said, well, he hadn't actually signed a proper contract yet. He was still on kind of like a youth type deal.
Oh shit!
So they kind of snuck in and offered him a pro contract and basically kind of stole him.
Fair play though. If QPR aren't fucking...
Oh yeah. I mean, if you can do it, if you can do it, fair enough. But
still a bit underhand.
So him going to Dortmund is it's a big deal because he could have gone to United, he could have gone to Liverpool, he could have gone to Bayern Munich, Barcelona are after him. I mean, everyone was after him.
To be fair though, just to turn us into two Brits, one white ball for a second. Like, if I was a young player in his position, I think Dortmund is a very attractive place to go.
Absolutely.
For a young player.
I would absolutely go to Dortmund.
You think,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Jadon Sancho, Christian Pulisic, Ousmane Dembele. Who else have they?
Erling Haaland.
Yeah, well, I don't know, he's only just got there, but I mean, yeah, he's a good player to have there. But like, they have developed players to then go on and be, even better elsewhere as well. Not just that Dortmund are a fantastic club; they seem to be particularly good with young players. But do you reckon? So for me, this feels like tomorrow we're going to get that would be silly, wouldn't it? We're obviously not doing that. Like, they're going to reverse the so-called decision. Do you reckon they're actually going to go through with it?
Here's a weird thing, though, right? And I'm going to bring it back to hockey again, just quickly. If a player guarantees you some kind of success or financial stability to that level for the next, say, 5-10 years. Because, like I said, for this one player, Birmingham in the Championship are going to get 30 million quid. And to relate it to hockey, one player you trade after one good season gets you, 2 first-round picks, 2 amazing prospects, 2 good players. That's a lot. You could kind of see, well, maybe he's like just safeguarded the future of this club. Does that make sense?
I get you, but then you put up a fucking banner for whoever the fucking manager is. The director of football is. Like, Jude Bellingham hasn't done that.
Yeah, true.
His sale has, but even then, like, I don't think... Yeah, 30 million's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money for a 17-year-old player out of the Championship, but that's not... It's not, like, saved Birmingham from insolvency or whatever, and even if it has, like, that's... You're retiring the number of the player that is inherently linked to the player's performance as a player. Do you know, they're not changing the name of a stand to the Jude Bellingham stand, which would be that'd be more fitting though, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
if they're retiring his number,
because what they're saying is there's another thing about this I want to talk about in a second. But what they're saying is no other player is going to be good enough to wear the number that Jude Bellingham wore. They're not going to be worthy of that number, which isn't true. Well, but probably is, because it's Birmingham. It might be. But, like, fucking Marazorati played for Birmingham for a bit, and I bet they haven't had a player as good as Marazorati since then to wear fucking number 19 or whatever it was. But
this is kind of something that I've always done that kind of thing weird with hockey, that you're going to have to retire Marchand, Bergeron's, Chara's number, for example, maybe Tuukka Rask's number, and then you're just like losing numbers all the time. At what point do you get, well, there's nothing else we can do now, we're going to have to go to like, you're going to have to play at 101 or 423.
And you get that with franchises, like especially the original sixes. Specifically, I always think of Detroit and Montreal. Like, you can't be a number 1 to 10 for any of those franchises.
I know.
Good luck getting the number 7 shirt at a fucking original 6 team with a number 9 or a number 10. Like, it's not happening. And that's another thing about retiring. I've fucking forgotten his name already. Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham's number. They're retiring number 22. That's like a fucking squad player's number in football.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's his number. It doesn't matter what number it is.
I know. You can't. we're going to retire the number 10 in Jude Bellingham's honour. No, but like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the kid wasn't important enough for your club to give him a proper fucking number. Like, he by old rules, he barely made your second 11. And you're retiring his number.
Fucking old. Dude, how old are you? By old rules. Oh my god.
Back in my day, mate, before these fucking squad numbers, when I was
back in
one.
my day, it was 1 to 11 and nothing else.
Fucking hell, mate.
Alright. Last thing.
That's the most important thing of the day.
Go on, what?
I said the most important thing of the day after like a 20-minute rant about a fucking championship football player.
It is the most important. This is the most important thing of the day. The hockey gods have blessed us with the Seattle Kraken. I think it's fantastic, and I'm so happy. I love the shirt design. I love the colours. I think it's all great. And I think that's why they are going to be a terrible team for the first 2 seasons. Because if you remember the Golden Knights, everyone laughed at it. Everyone said the jerseys were horrible. Everyone said the colours were bad, and then they were really good. But this is a big loving already.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know. You really like the name. You're proper.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, fair enough. I take it or leave it. It's different. I like it more than the Golden Knights. Let's say that's something to be said.
It's obviously going to lead as well to people chucking squids and octopus on the ice at games.
More teams doing that. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We should have the fucking San Jose squid, the fucking Ottawa octopus. Just change every team name to something to do with octopus, and then just every game of the season, chuck a bit of what are they called, theropods. That's about right, isn't it?
Yes, I think
theropods.
So.
Yeah,
Well
check me out. Yeah, we want
fucking
theropods on the ice.
Nature over here. Nice.
It's alright, mate. It's alright. I'm just fucking amateur biologist over here. Don't worry about me. But yeah, theropods on the ice every game. That's what we need. I think I'm really in two minds about the logo and the jersey, because one part of me thinks, yeah, it's clean, it's nice, it's interesting, like it's not trying to fuck about too much. But the other part of me, which I cannot escape, is it's just a stylised fucking S as the logo, and it's another fucking blue jersey in the NHL, of which the 31 team league has 45 teams who are wearing blue.
Yeah, but you kind of got to go with that. Once you've gone with the Kraken, you kind of have to go with that then.
You could have had green Kraken. What colour's the fucking Kraken?
Well, technically, in the old days, I think the Kraken was, I don't know.
Back when we wore 1 to 11 down, I think Kraken were brown.
Fucking wore 1 to 11. Fucking, oh my god, as well. Shout out to Erin Dark for giving people ideas years ago on Puck Soup about how to smuggle octopus or squid into a game. And I think Greg said to her, "What would you smuggle in?" And she said, "An octopus." And he said, "How?" And she said, "In my bra." I always remember that. I mean, see, the ideas are there already.
I remember doing. I think you just need to look to fucking Detroit for how to smuggle octopus in, though, because they've been doing it for donkey's years.
Yeah, true. That is true. Well, she's a Wings fan, isn't she? So
that explains it. Why does that stick in your brain so much? Like,
because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. A woman smuggling an octopus into a hockey game in her bra. Just the visual alone. I just imagine my wife trying to get an octopus in her bra, and it just cracks me up. Cracks me up.
I mean, not to shock our viewers or peel back the curtain too much, but I'm not a person blessed with breasts, so do not have to wear a bra. I can't imagine that's something nice to do. I can't.
Yeah, even... but if you've got to do it, you'll do it.
You've got to do it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you absolutely must smuggle an octopus into a hockey game, then you're a woman.
Gun to your head.
The bra is the best place.
Look, Ms. Dark.
Makes perfect sense.
We've got this fucking Potter kid hostage. If you don't chuck this octopus onto the ice at a Wings game, we're gonna fucking kill him.
Which Potter kid? The ginger one? No, the important one.
The one that you're doing the dirty with.
Yeah, the one that you're like in love with. Oh, okay, I'll do it then.
Romantically involved.
Think about this as well. If you're smart enough and clever enough, you could just wear the octopus as a bra.
Wear it as a bra. What? But then you'd have like octopus slime fucking leaking through your shirt or your jersey or blouse or whatever you're wearing.
Don't blame me. It's Harry Dark's idea. It's not my idea.
You're a extreme. She's not here. She's not the one who's fucking brought this up today. We're trying to talk about the unveiling of the 30-second historic moment in the National Hockey League, Dan, the 30-second team, and you're like, right. I've been thinking about Erin Dark's bra all day, and now she's going to stuff that octopus in there.
Hey, do you know what as well? Somebody is going to want to be the first person to chuck an octopus on the ice there, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And
I hope at that first home game, there's like 60 people with octopuses like stuffed in their body, like stuffed around their body or something somewhere. And then the first person chucks theirs on, and all the rest are just like, oh shit, I've got to sit here all night now with this thing.
It's fucking Matt Murray skates out, the first player on the ice for the warm-up in the first pre-season game, and there's like 30 octopus just lobbed at him.
It's like someone's just scored a hat-trick or something. It's just like hundreds of octopi raining down on him. Oh, dear.
Jesus. I think it's,
I do like the... sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, like... the jersey is nice. It is a nice jersey. It's a good look.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've got it all right. Have you seen their bio on Twitter already?
No, I haven't.
It is good. Now that we've got a name, we're strategizing all the ways to draft your favourite player. I like that.
That's nice.
Little cheap shot just out of the gate. That's good.
Oh, one thing I didn't fucking like though. Did you see that fucking video that was being bandied about of like a fake group chat with all the NHL teams?
Yes.
Mate, like, come on. What are we even doing?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I agree. Wasn't keen on that.
Like personified NHL teams popping up in a group chat to welcome the Seattle Kraken, but in a way that sort of hints at their history or their thing, whatever it might be. It's fucking like, who is that serving? Who's that for? Even if you find someone who it is for, just don't cater to that person. Like, don't do it.
Yeah, I can't imagine many people watching that thinking, "Oh my god, this is hilarious."
I'll tell you one thing I'm holding out for, because they've only unveiled the home jersey so far, haven't they?
Yeah.
I really hope that they don't have a white away jersey.
What would you have?
Like that light blue, the lightest blue they've got on their home jersey, like the top stripe.
Their home and away jersey should be blue and blue.
Yeah, but you got dark blue and you got light blue.
Yeah, I get it. I don't hate the idea. It's not a bad idea.
Oh, do you say you don't hate it, but you laughed at it?
Yeah, so I find it funny. I didn't hate it. I didn't get angry, did I?
You found it funny. You deride my idea straight away.
All right, Joe Pesci, calm down.
I don't know what that means.
Never mind. All right, let's get out of here.
Go on then. Oh, I'll leave you one last little factoid first, which I learned. The Kraken. The Kraken with that jersey, they've got be the only team in the league without any white on their home jersey. Isn't that fucked up?
See, maybe they're listening to you already. Maybe they know.
Maybe they know. That's what gives me hope that there might not be any white on the away jersey as well. They're already like, no, we don't want any white. See you later.
There we are, folks. Thank you for listening. Will, any last words?
I just gave them to you.
Nice one. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.